everyone, it's Catherine. Thank you for clicking on my first ever video of 2017. I'm hoping it'll be a rewarding one, a valuable one. I have been reflecting on these things for over a year. In no way were any of these lessons things that I actually wanted to learn. I wish I hadn't learned a lot of them. They're really hard lessons to go through, but I figured better me go through them than you, and hopefully by imparting these lessons onto you, you can try to make 2017 a prime year for yourself. 2017 is actually already a prime number, so please do not ruin this for us. We need this year. Number 1, time and time again, this proved to be true. I actually learned this from Shay Carl, of all people, but he said, success is equal parts preparation and opportunity. And this is gonna save you from so much grief and so much beating yourself up. Every time I was rejected from an internship or a full-time job or a new club or I got a bad grade on a test, it really comes down to your success is not always due to pure hard work. All you can control is the preparation part of your success. So do unlimited work to make it happen. Talk to as many people who have been there, done that. Do as much work as possible, like kick yourself into gear there, because you have to trust that the opportunity will work out. Sometimes you're a minute too late, sometimes you're just not the right fit for something. Sometimes it's unfair and the opportunity just doesn't work out for like horrible, unjust reasons. Now going to the new year, knowing that I have a full-time job lined up after college, as much as I want to claim like, yeah, I worked so hard, I got this full-time job, I have this great package, blah, 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 I know in my heart that really only half of it was me preparing for it. Half it was the opportunity of USC being a school that they came and recruited to. Half of it was the opportunity that I just knew someone already there. You know, it's these little things that you can't control. So basically, don't beat yourself up if things don't work out for you, because it is equal parts your preparation, what you put into it, and equal parts just the way the cosmic universe flows, and we all know that that can happen in wonky ways sometimes. Number 2, you cannot connect the dots forward, you can only connect the dots backward. You can thank Steve Jobs for this advice, so it's very credible, very insightful human being, although he never explained why my iPhone dies at 65% just by opening Snapchat, but we'll disregard that just for a moment and observe the wonderful advice he gave. You're not gonna know how things work out for you. You have to trust that your dots will align in the future. You can't exactly plan out like every single move, because like I said, success is equal parts preparation, opportunity. You don't know how the opportunity is gonna work out. You don't know exactly how your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan is gonna work. You have to be a little bit spiritual here. I mean, you don't have to be religious, you don't have to have a strict guideline of your spirituality, but you do have to just trust that things will all work out, and that'll save you from a lot of worry. Like 10 years down the road, you'll understand more why everything had to happen the way it is. Essentially, have a little faith in the universe, have a little faith in 2017. If you believe that things will work out, it'll be a lot easier for you to work towards your goals. Number 3, not from Steve Jobs, from another cool dude. His name is my dad. This year, he told me a lot that the squeakiest wheel gets the grease. One of the most obnoxious, annoying, insidious lessons to learn of 2016, which is why I hope you don't have to learn this in 2017. You can just go out with a bang and just already implement this into your life. If you want anything to happen for you, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to speak up for yourself and say what you want. No one else is gonna do that for you. No one else is gonna speak up on your behalf. It is your responsibility and your responsibility only. So if you want to talk to your role model more, if you want to talk to your mentor, if you want to get a good grade in that class, if you want your car to be repaired on Tuesday instead of getting it done on Friday like the repair shop claimed they would, all it takes is you really, really harping on it and making your intentions clear. For me, I just feel so insanely obnoxious, like calling someone up every single day and saying, when's my car gonna be ready? I really need to be ready. But by you doing that and by you leaving those voicemails and those texts and those emails, it lets them know how much you care about it. It lets them know that you're taking it seriously and that they should take it seriously too. Because otherwise, if you just leave it blank, if you don't contact them, they're gonna take their own time. They're not gonna have any sort of like motivation, like drive to get that done. On your end, it might just feel like you're bombing them with contact and like just sending them too much stuff. On their end, most of the time, they're so busy that they don't even realize you're doing it as much as you are. Especially as teens and millennials and 20-somethings, I think we think that older people don't care about us when really they just have a lot on their plate, a lot more emails to go through, and they're a lot more busy. So it's truly never as annoying as you think to make a lot of contact with someone. Do not be worried about doing that. It's gonna work out for the best in the long run when you get the things you want because you've been really insistent on them. Number 4, here's how to cure all of your insecurity. I certainly feel plagued with comparing myself to everyone around me, and that makes me feel really insignificant. Every time someone updates their job status on Facebook and is like, ooh, I'm interning at Instagram, and like, I'm traveling the world for a year, and I just got this huge research grant, it makes you feel really insignificant, and it makes you feel really small, and that insecurity can be really, really devastating. I'm always advocating to people, stop comparing yourself. It's only gonna do you harm. Stop looking at other people and judging yourself by them. Very, very easy to say, not easy to do. Here's how to do it. And I learned it from an audiobook. You can get a free audiobook via my link. I'll put it here. Just cancel the trial after 30 days and it is truly, truly free. I'd recommend it. The only way to cancel out your insecurity is to limit the number of people you're comparing yourself to. So most of the time we have huge social groups because we're friends with every single person we met from like 6th grade summer camp up until now. Like, we have such random connections on our social media sites. We have this huge network of people that we truly do not need to care about in that way. By checking everyone's Snapchat stories on your feed, you're really just hurting your security because then you're automatically comparing yourself to everyone. That's why I don't post Snapchat stories, because I don't want to feed into that comparing yourself with what everyone else is doing all the time. Just know that it is okay to close yourself off to people. It is okay to mute people's feeds, to block them, to remove them from your social media, to not talk to them as much if they make you just feel so insanely insecure. The most secure, confident people are the ones with the smallest social groups, not the people that have 20 kind of close friends, but the people that have like 3 close friends and therefore don't compare themselves to 20 people. They have 3 people to compare themselves to, and that automatically alleviates some of the insecurity. So if there's any way for you to just limit the people that you compare yourself to, do that. Unsubscribe from people that make you feel insignificant and subscribe to people that lift you up. If that's me, the red button down there is definitely clickable. You should go ahead and do that. Join this community here and hopefully stop comparing yourself too much. Number 5, this came up so many times last year. It's something that as many times as I tell you it, you're gonna forget it. You're gonna forget to use it. It's so hard to use on yourself. And it's that you have control over your reactions to anything. You don't have control over the way things play out for you sometimes, but you always, always, always have control over the way you react to it. You can react like Leslie Knope and make everything that happens to you constructive and think that everything that happens to you, you can always look for ways to improve the situation or change the environment or bounce back from it. Or you can react like Louis C.K., be really bitter about it, be really upset that anything bad ever happens to you. And those are 2 mindsets you can definitely have. It's okay to be either of those people. They're great people. But one way is gonna lead you to so much more happiness. If someone's super late to a meeting with you, you can choose to be really, really bitter about it and be mad for that entire meeting. Or you could try to have a good meeting and not let them being late make you really upset. Just say, hey, wish you weren't late, but let's just get into this meeting. Let it go. It's gonna be a lot easier for both of you to get through that meeting and it won't create an insane amount of pressure. So if that makes sense, you do have control over your reactions to literally anything, and it's up to you if you want to have a good time with it or if you want to be upset and let that kind of sink you down. Number 6 pretty much broke me. Up until the age of 20, I firmly believed that everything happens for a reason. When I would lose my favorite sweater, I would say, you know what, everything happens for a reason. Maybe that sweater would have gotten a huge stain on it and I would have been really upset at the person who got the stain on it. Maybe the person on the other end that found it needed a lot more than me. Or if I got a bad grade in the test, that was just to make sure that I was more vigilant for the next assignment. There's a lot of lessons to be learned, a lot of reasons that things happen that you can try to, psychoanalyze and feed into. But also there are lessons you can learn without experiencing pain. Sometimes we confuse that pain should always have a reason behind it. And sometimes there's just needless pain that happens in this world that doesn't have a reason behind it. I know a lot of you are gonna try to refute this point and say that yes, everything happens for a reason. You can always find a reason for it. But sometimes you don't want to find a reason for it, and this past year, I suffered the worst loss of my life. I've been grieving the loss of my best friend in the whole world. She passed away back in April, and you just can't tell me, you just really can't convince me that her pain and her mental illness happened for a reason. That just is a really sick thing to think, and I would hope that none of you would think that way. So for me, everything happened for a reason was broken, and I would encourage you all to look at things that are extremely painful, not as lessons to be learned, but just to acknowledge that sometimes really painful things happen, and you can just let those not try to have a reason for them, because that's very hard to come to terms with. If you've skipped around this entire video and you haven't listened to anything I've said, please stop at this point right here. I'll try to make it really obvious. More than anything, the lesson you need to take into 2017, your health and well-being are paramount. They are more important than literally anything else. They are more important than that test grade. They are more important than that significant other you're worrying about. It's more important than going out and hanging out with your friends when you don't want to. Your health and well-being are the number one thing you should worry about. If at the end of the day, the only thing you've done that day is take care of yourself, that is more than enough. You should be proud of that. You should feel accomplished, because a lot of people don't acknowledge their health and their well-being, and they don't work towards supporting those things. It hurts you way more than you would think. It is way more valuable to stay home and take care of yourself than go out. Maybe for you, going out and seeing friends is the way you take care of yourself and not doing that assignment and maybe losing 5% for turning in late. But at the end of the day, like literally making sure you're feeling healthy, mentally, emotionally, physically, intellectually healthy is like the most important thing. And I would always, always, always prioritize that over literally anything else. I post lots of quotes on my Instagram, and I also do a lot of these sort of reflections more on my vlog channel. So if you're wanting more of this after this video, those are 2 resources to go head over to. I wish you all the best in this prime year. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, and Katherout.